Good afternoon. This has been a busy week at school this week as we prepare for the start of the second 9 weeks on Monday. Most of my video today will be focused on what you and your child will need to know moving forward, particularly if your child will be changing between in-person and virtual for the second 9 weeks. Since there's a lot of information to share, today's video is quite a bit longer than the others I've done, so let's get to it. Let's start with the first 9 weeks. Today is the last official day of the first 9 weeks, and that means grade cards are going to be issued next Friday, October the 23rd. Okay, so there are going to be a lot of things happening on Monday, October 19th. We have some students transitioning from virtual back to in-person school. We have others who are moving from in-person to virtual, and we have some students who are remaining in the same placement they had for the first 9 weeks. The rest of this video is really divided into two sections. First, we're going to talk about students who are returning back to school from being virtual. Now, virtual students should have already heard from their teachers about what to do and what to expect when they come back to school. Parents, I really want to encourage you to visit our website and read through the in-person learning section, particularly that document called A Day in the Life of a Traditional NGS Student. That document covers a lot of details that in-person students need to know when they arrive on Monday. Much of that information may be different from what you remember from previous years. I want to highlight some of the more important changes. We'll start with morning drop-off. Any student who will be eating breakfast at school will need to be dropped off at the gym entrance. Students who do not want to eat breakfast will need to be dropped off in various areas based upon their grade level. For kindergartners, the drop-off point is the kindergarten circle, and those students will wait in the primary playroom until school starts. First graders will also be dropped off at the kindergarten circle, and they'll wait in the primary cafeteria. Second through fifth grade students will be dropped off at the gym entrance, and they'll remain in the gym until school starts. And of course, sixth through eighth grade students will enter at the auditorium after being dropped off at the bell. Again, those are for students that will not be eating breakfast when they get to school. Now, parents who have multiple students to drop off from different grade levels should drop off all of their students at the gym entrance, and students will be directed by the school staff on where they should go from there. Students will need to be wearing a mask when they exit their vehicle at drop-off. Every student will be temperature checked before entering the building. Next, only essential visitors are being allowed inside our buildings at this time. All visitors are also subject to temperature checks and a quick health screening. Now, once students arrive, they're going to notice several new safety procedures that we've put in place in response to COVID-19. First of all, students have been assigned to a cohort group, and that group travels from class to class as a unit. Also, we are avoiding having large group assemblies as much as possible. At lunchtime, we're now using our primary cafeteria to supplement our main cafeteria in order to allow students to appropriately social distance while eating. We've increased the amount and the frequency of cleaning and sanitizing the building during the school day, and hand sanitizing stations have been placed at all student entrances to our building. Now, the afternoon dismissal process also has a few small changes. Students in 7th and 8th grades who will be picked up at the Bell parking lot are now exiting from the old main school entrance on College Street. That means that vehicles picking up those students will continue straight at the top of the driveway in order to drive in front of the old main entrance to pick up the children. Also, students with younger siblings in 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grades will need to exit from the gym. Also, any other 7th or 8th grade students that have siblings in 4th, 5th, or 6th grades will need to exit from the Bell entrance. Now, this last item is very important. Virtual students received a lot of materials at the beginning of the school year, class supplies, textbooks, and in many cases, Chromebooks or even internet hotspots. Please make sure that your child returns all of those items to school on Monday for their first in-person day. I know this is a lot of information. Remember that you can play back any part of this video if you need to, and don't hesitate to contact your child's teacher if you need clarification. Now we'll move on to the next section of today's video to talk about some important things for students who will be transitioning to virtual instruction for the second 9 weeks. By now, your child should have received all of the items that they might need in order to participate in virtual learning. Remember that access to a computer or a laptop or a Chromebook is critical, along with consistent internet access. The important thing to remember about virtual learning is communication. Teachers will be regularly sharing information with students by Google Classroom and email, and many are also using online textbooks and other platforms. Students must check in daily with their teachers, attend virtual meetings with Zoom or Google Meet, and participate in all of their assigned activities in order to be considered present for online instruction. Remember that the same attendance rules apply to virtual learners as in-person learners. In most cases, attendance is taken based on whether students have correctly submitted their assignment for a given day. I did a little demonstration on how to submit assignments on Google Classroom in the September 18th edition of the weekly update video if you'd like to go back and watch. And lastly today, your child's teacher may be contacting you soon about a couple of parent surveys that are required components of our school's federal monitoring. The survey links will most likely come to you via Dojo message, so be on the lookout for that message. I want to encourage you to take just a minute to help us fulfill that monitoring requirement. Thanks for watching today. We're looking forward to seeing some familiar faces on Monday. I hope you have a great weekend.